Hey guys, welcome back. It's John Anderson again. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about how to do a false positive analysis for Content Protector. So, also in WSA, just kind of very similar to the value confirmation, only now we're doing the opposite. Instead of looking for botnets, we're looking for things that don't look like botnets, things that don't look like scrapers, things that look human. So I picked a customer. I cheated. I picked a customer that I know has some false positives right now. So I'm on Costco, www.costco.com, and again, you'll see me. I'm filtered down to scraper anomaly, which is content protector, and I'm filtered on the aggressive response. So a false positive analysis is another way to put it is the customer ready to go into deny mode? Can they put the aggressive response segment into deny mode on www.costco.com, right? And what we're going to do is we're also note I'm also filtering down just by rule, so I'm hiding everything that's not content protector right now. So the way to do this, now that I've filtered down to the response segment, I'm actually going to remove the response segment from my display because I know I'm only looking at aggressive, because I need the screen real estate. I want to make these spark lines over here for bot rule combination as large as possible. And when I come here, I'm looking for, I'm looking for human patterns. Oh boy. All right. And so, these guys definitely, if I'm doing a false positive analysis, I would definitely look at each of these and say, all right, let's make sure that they look like bots. So let's do that, right? Let's do it real quick. But I know I need to look at this guy down here, right? This one. I probably need to look at this one. That pattern worries me. That is a very clean circadian or diurnal pattern. That pattern worries me. So let's look at the top one real quick. And it looks like probably these two are related. So let's take a look. I'm just looking at the top one, top traffic. Do I see any false positives in this top traffic? Right, and so I've already broken it down into rule combination, but now I'm going to start adding all the other stuff I have. I'm going to say URL. I'm going to say user agent. These are my favorites: URL and user agent. Another one very useful for false positive analysis, referrer, right? And so I come down here and I say, okay, what is going on? Interesting. So everything, first thing on these two URLs, right? Everything on these two URLs, I need to look at these two URLs from just by their name. Ajax get contract price. Ajax get contract price. Ajax get inventory detail, right? I need to look at these from the perspective of these should be configured as Ajax requests. And when I come down here, I don't see any refer at all. Okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And then I'm going to look here. I got Chrome 119, Chrome 116, right? And if you look at, those guys, those look like bots, right? Or at least something was triggering here and then went away. Everything seems like it's up here. It's all this Chrome 119 browser. Okay, so as of this point, I still don't know whether this is human or bot, right? All I know is I've got two Ajax URLs triggering on these three rules, right? So, and I see the most amount of traffic, 40 million requests out of almost 40 million, right? So we're only was it 2,000 requests shy. So okay, now that that right there gave me my first clue, right? 40 million triggers here out of which is almost 100% of these triggers is 100%. I need to turn on Do Not Disturb, guys. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay. Is coming from this one user agent. That's suspicious. That's very suspicious, right? And it's to these URLs with no refer when they should have a refer, right? They're AJAX requests. They should have a refer. So I'm going to also add IP address, right? Let's take a look at IP, connecting IP. Connecting IP address table. Everybody works in WSA slightly differently. You're kind of seeing me do it. Ooh, okay. Look at that distribution, right? That is a very even distribution across these IP addresses. That is an insane. Look, I mean, it's almost perfect, right? 26,000, right? Over a period of 7 days. Again, I'm always looking at 7 days. So, okay, I have convinced myself that product's doing the right thing here. This looks like scraping, right? And if you drill down to samples, this is where I'll get myself even more confident. I have 40 million requests from one user agent, right? Chrome 119. It's pretty recent. It's not that old. As of this writing, Chrome 126. Oh my gosh. And they've been having so many security vulnerabilities that Chrome has been patching almost every day for the past month. So we're looking at GET requests to this AJAX contract price, missing refer header, no cookie, no user behavior. All right, so this means the JavaScript was never executed and we never actually got telemetry on it. That's a big clue, right? But we're never getting cookies either, right? So and we don't have a refer. There's no refer whatsoever on these prices, or these AJAX URLs. This is a bot. All right, I'm good. I have now convinced myself that very first one we were looking at. I'm going to zoom all the way back out. Zoom, or unfilter. This guy's a botnet, right? I bet if I look at this one, I'm also going to see that our friend Chrome 119. Let's take a look. All right, there we go. 32 million. Oh, look at that Chrome 119. So let's just look at Chrome 119, right? And since I've already convinced myself that whatever this thing is triggering, it's a bot. Let's just now look at Chrome 119 and see everything that Chrome 119 is triggering. Okay, it's a lot. It's a lot of different stuff. Now, is all of this that same botnet? Maybe, right? But for the purposes of false positive analysis, what I'm going to do is I want to filter this out, because I basically have already convinced myself that we've got a lot of true positives from Chrome 119. So I just want to get it out of the data, right? So I'm basically still looking at, I'm saying, show me everything that's aggressive response, high scored scraper, right? Content Protector thinks it's a scraper. That is not Chrome 119. So I filtered it out just to remove it from my data here. So, look at that. Okay, so now if I remove Chrome 119, now my rule combinations, now this hits different, right? This hits different. Now I'm starting to see, now I've got a very clean line of, okay, so I'm worried about this right here. What is that? Let's drill down. And again, all I did was say I have a lot of true positives. Product's doing its job. We got a big botnet from Chrome 119. Just filter it out of the data. Show me what else is triggering. And as soon as I peeled it away, I see this. Okay. 007, 013, 401. Render. Interesting. Device, Android, and AJAX get gas prices service. And then this other one, DMC validation. This makes me think immediately, right? We might have ourselves a mobile app problem. a mobile app problem. And let me pull this up because this happens to be the same exact day. I'm recording this on Tuesday, June 18th. I'm going to pull up training 4. We're actually delivering this later today. I want to show you guys this. Top causes of false positives. We missed an AJAX refer, and so the JavaScript isn't being injected somewhere. It's a rule scoping problem. URLs are being incorrectly categorized as HTML versus AJAX. It should be AJAX, and we categorized it as HTML. That's a rule scoping problem. URLs are being requested by a native mobile app, and they should not be processed through CPR. These are the top causes. And right off the bat, I'm looking here, and I'm saying, Android. Now, show me no refers on these guys. I see a lot coming from Palo Alto. It's a little suspicious, but this could be like a zero trust thing, right? So we could have wireless traffic coming through these. Palo Alto has a zero trust. They're a known VPN provider, basically. Then I start to see Verizon, Charter, Optics, AT&T, lots and lots of mobile providers. This is concerning because I'm seeing lots of IPs from lots of mobile providers, right? There's no concentration really in the data, except in Palo Alto's case. And in Palo Alto, this makes me think people might be using a proxy or something like that. Legitimate use of a proxy or a VPN. My gut is telling me we've got a problem here. And when I look at this and I see an empty refer, Ajax get gas prices. Ajax get gas prices. I want to come over here to their rules. And I want to check out what's in their rules. We don't have Ajax get gas prices defined. Get contract price, get inventory detail, get managed shopping cart, get shipping cost controller, get inventory status update. And if that's the only set of Ajax calls we defined, and we say landing pages are on www.costco.com but have no file extension, www.costco.com has no file extension. This is being treated as HTML. And the back end and the detection engine is basically expecting there to be cookies on these guys, as well as JavaScript telemetry from this page itself. So let's take a look. Let's look just at samples. Let's take a look just at samples. Device Android. Makes me think we've got a mobile application out here. That's a legitimate mobile app. And we've got some URLs that are misconfigured. So we might have two problems. Malformed user agent, missing cookie, fingerprint anomaly, new session. Missing cookie. We're seeing in the request, that's it, device Android. Gas prices for a specific warehouse ID. Gas prices for a specific warehouse ID. And I bet if I go back and I look at the query string, if I add that, I'll see that we're seeing lots and lots of no refer. Let's look at query. Right? Show me the query string. So this is concerning. There's some sort of Android app out here that is hitting Ajax get gas prices. So we've got options, but I need to talk to the customer. I'm going to need to talk to the customer about this particular problem here because I don't know what to do. You can see that there's lots of different warehouse IDs, right? So there's some sort of app out there on Android or it's just a really clever scraper that's not clever, or it's a really obvious scraper, but I can't tell. I can't make a decision on my own. Akamai, I don't think, can make a decision on our own. We need to go to the customer and we need to say, is this legitimate? This device slash Android, do you guys have an app out there? Does your own app, does the Costco app make calls to Ajax get gas prices? Because if so, are you concerned about scraping on that URL? Because what we might want to do is remove it from the scope entirely. And what we did here with the rules is we had slash, that's a very specific rule. And then we said every single page that does not have a file extension should be treated as HTML except for these Ajax calls. And now when I'm seeing this data, I'm starting to think, we may have missed a lot of Ajax calls. So I've got potentially two different things to recommend to the customer here. Hey, do we need to whitelist this user agent? Period. Full stop. Right? Do we need to whitelist this guy? Is that your mobile app? If not, is there another app? There's plenty of gas, petrol, price checking apps out there. Is that some other app that you want to block? We can do that. Is an app that needs to be whitelisted? We can do that with custom clients. But at the very minimum, we've got a URL here that's clearly an Ajax URL that actually is not being treated as Ajax. And so my first recommendation to the customer is, let's change this rule, this Ajax rules, to instead of list out individual, if we missed one, how many others do you think we missed in terms of Ajax? Let's just change these to slash Ajax star. Slash Ajax star. To basically say, treat every extensionless file name as a HTML page unless it's in this Ajax directory, or unless it has the word Ajax, starts with Ajax. So everything that's extensionless is HTML. Let's inject the JavaScript unless it has Ajax in it, and then in which case we need to protect it, treat it as an Ajax request. So right off the bat, I have figured out we've got something that looks very much like a false positive. We need to talk to the customer to figure out what the next steps are. We might need to do custom client surgery. They may need to actually come in here and tell their own app team, hey, can you actually have a better user agent on their app? Or is this an app that they've never seen before, right? Is this an app that they're like, I have no idea what that is. That's not our official app. Let's block it. They may tell us to do that. But no matter what they decide to do with this particular mobile user agent, we also need to categorize this guy properly as an HTML, not as HTML, but as an Ajax request. So I've got 2 action items. I need to go back to the customer. I've only even here looked at one particular rule combination. And for the purposes of this recording, we're going to stop right there. But if you zoom back out, right, and you're doing a proper false positive analysis, right, there might be others that you need to go look into, right? There might be others. So that's how you do false positive analysis, right? You look for that, and it's not always a circadian pattern does not always indicate that it's a false positive. It's not a guarantee, but you need, anytime you see a circadian pattern, you want to take a look. And when we took a look at this one, we said, ooh, we might have a problem with this app. We need to go talk to the customer. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck with those false positives. Ask the chat rooms for help.